Every morning, millions of people around the world kick off their day with a bowl of crunchy cereal. No cooking, no fuss, just pour in some milk, and boom, breakfast is served. But have you ever wondered how those crispy little flakes actually come to life? To meet that massive demand, tons of corn are harvested and processed every single day. From humble kernels to golden crunchy flakes, sometimes dusted with a sweet layer of sugar, it all happens through a surprisingly complex process inside the factory. So let's head behind the scenes and see how your favorite breakfast staple is really made. Cornflakes were actually discovered by accident. Yep, true story. Back in the 1890s, two brothers named Kellogg were trying to make a type of bread dough, but they left the wheat cooking a little too long, and it broke apart into flakes. Instead of tossing the whole batch, they baked the flakes and gave them a taste. And just like that, the first version of cornflakes was born. Fast forward to the 1950s, and cornflakes officially hit the market in the US. And it didn't take long for them to go global. Today, whether you're a kid rushing to school or an adult powering through your morning meeting, there's a cereal out there that fits your taste and lifestyle. Originally sold in large boxes and marketed as a healthy, easy-to-digest meal, cornflakes quickly grew in popularity. Kellogg took the idea nationwide, and then worldwide. The rest is breakfast history. The secret behind the cornflakes Americans can't get enough of? It all starts with a very special kind of corn. The kind that only grows in the heart of the Midwest, also known as the Corn Belt. This isn't your typical sweet corn or popcorn. Nope. The corn used for cereal is a tougher, industrial variety grown specifically for processing. Every spring, as the weather starts to warm up, farmers gear up for planting season. The goal? To get the corn in the ground early enough for a late summer or early fall harvest. The flat, wide-open fields of the Midwest make it perfect for large-scale farming, especially with the help of high-tech machinery. Before planting, farmers till the soil until it's light and crumbly. When the dirt breaks apart in your hand, that's the sign it's go time. Seeds are loaded into a precision planter and dropped evenly into rows, tucked safely underground and ready to grow. Within a week, the seeds sprout, and just a few days later, the first green shoots poke through the surface, marking the beginning of a 3 to 4 month growing journey, depending on the corn variety. Each year, ag companies plant up to 100 million pounds of this corn just to keep up with America's cereal cravings. Each stalk grows up to 10 to 12 feet tall and typically produces 1 or 2 ears of corn. But each ear is packed with around 800 firm, golden kernels. That's the good stuff cereal factories are after. By harvest time, the plants look like they've seen better days, dry, brittle, and totally lifeless. But don't be fooled. That's exactly what farmers want. Harvesting too early, when the corn's still moist, risks mold and spoilage during storage. It has to be bone dry to ensure long shelf life. Harvest season kicks off around mid-August and runs through mid-October. That's when massive combine harvesters roll onto the fields. These machines do it all. Chopping down stalks, stripping the ears, and separating the kernels from the cobs in one smooth motion. They run non-stop and can bring in up to 50 tons of corn a day. At the front, the machine swallows row after row of corn, stripping off everything it doesn't need. Stalks, leaves, cobs, and collecting only the kernels, which get funneled into a giant holding tank on top. Once the tank's full, the combine has to stop and unload. Otherwise, corn will start spilling out all over the field. That's when a gravity flow wagon pulls up alongside. A built-in auger pipe swings out, and the corn gets transferred straight from the combine into the wagon ready for the next stage. Once the trucks are fully loaded with corn, they roll straight out of the fields and head directly to the factory. Their destination? Massive storage silos, some of which can hold up to a jaw-dropping 25 million pounds of corn. Each individual silo can store about 3.2 million pounds, giving the facility a steady supply of raw material all year long. As the silos fill up, a smart control system kicks in. It constantly monitors moisture levels at multiple points inside the silo. Based on real-time weather conditions, the system automatically makes adjustments. If it's humid or drizzling outside, industrial fans switch on to keep things nice and dry. But if the air is dry, the system can power down the fans to lock in just the right amount of natural moisture. The sweet spot? A moisture range between 13.5% and 14.5%. The perfect level to prevent mold and keep the kernels in top shape. With that kind of precise climate control, these big, dense golden kernels can sit safely in storage for up to 4 or 5 years and still stay as fresh and high quality as the day they were harvested. The first step in making cornflakes starts with one simple rule. Only the best corn makes the cut. Once the kernels reach the perfect moisture level, they're sent through a series of high-tech sorting machines that grade them by size, shape, color, and cleanliness. Any leftover bits, like stray cob pieces, get blasted away by powerful air jets. And just in case tiny fragments of glass or debris made it in during harvest, vibrating screens run a deep clean to catch anything the air missed. Don't worry, the tech here is next-level accurate. Smaller, lighter, or subpar kernels are rejected during this stage. But they don't go to waste. Those off-grade kernels are separated out on a gravity table and sent to a designated storage area to be repurposed as livestock feed. Only the top-tier kernels move forward, and they're not off the hook yet. Every single batch goes through a strict quality check. Size, freshness, and firmness are all inspected to meet the high standards set by Kellogg. Because when you're making millions of cereal bowls for breakfast tables around the world, good enough just isn't good enough. Once the corn is thoroughly cleaned, it's time for the real transformation to begin. The whole kernels head into the first stage of processing. And it all starts with some seriously giant equipment. Each batch is weighed with precision before being loaded into what's basically an industrial-sized pressure cooker. Inside, workers add water along with a secret blend of flavoring agents to give the final cereal that signature taste. Once everything's in, the lid is locked tight and the system starts rotating to ensure even heat distribution during cooking. After about 3 hours of slow, steady cooking, the corn kernels have soaked up just the right amount of water. They're soft, fully cooked, and sitting at the perfect moisture level, around 30%. At this stage, every batch gets inspected to make sure it's on point. Next, the massive cookers tilt down and pour the steaming hot corn into a giant screw conveyor, which carries it off to the cooling and drying station. There, industrial dryers kick in and gently bring the moisture down to around 19%. The sweet spot that sets the stage for the next big step, flaking. After soaking and moisture adjustment, the corn moves on to one of the most satisfying steps in the process, flaking. The goal? To press each kernel into a perfect flake without cracking or crumbling. The kernels are fed between 2 large steel rollers, each about 24 inches in diameter, spinning in opposite directions. One roller spins just a bit faster than the other, creating the pressure needed to flatten the corn. As the kernels drop between them, they get squashed into smooth, uniform flakes. These rollers are ultra smooth, incredibly hard, and slightly heated, around 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which helps prevent sticking and ensures a clean, even press. The result? Cornflakes that are just 20 to 40 mils thick and about 400 to 800 mils wide, depending on the size of the original kernel. The pressure also gives them that signature golden hue we all recognize. But don't grab your spoon just yet. At this stage, the flakes are still soft and flavorless. So next, they head into a long, high-temperature oven for the toasting phase. This is where the magic happens. The moisture content drops from about 19% to just 3%, turning the soft flakes into crispy, crunchy goodness. The heat doesn't just dry them out. It also locks in that rich color and brings out the classic cornflake flavor. By the time they exit the oven, They're golden, crisp, and ready to take their place in breakfast bowls across the country. Once the flakes come out of the oven, golden and crunchy, they're sent straight onto a cooling conveyor, a system designed to quickly bring the temperature down and lock each flake into its final shape. At the same time, they get a light secondary drying treatment to remove any lingering moisture. This keeps them extra crispy and prevents them from soaking up humidity from the air. Next up, flavor time. The cornflakes flow into a rotating flavor drum, where different coatings are added depending on the recipe. It could be sugar, honey, a pinch of salt, or natural flavorings. Some versions even get a sweet granola mix for that honey crunch upgrade. While the drum spins, sprayers evenly mist the flakes with a sugar water blend. The constant rotation makes sure every flake gets coated nice and evenly without clumping or bare spots. Then it's off to the final dryer. A stream of hot air flows over the flakes, drying the outer coating and removing every last drop of moisture. This step keeps the flakes from getting sticky and locks in that signature snap. After that, they're hit with a blast of cool air, the last chill before the finish line. This rapid cooling prevents the flakes from sticking together and helps them hold their shape, all while getting them ready for packaging. Before any cornflake hits the box, it goes through one final and seriously strict quality check. Trained eyes and advanced testing tools work together to make sure every flake meets Kellogg's exact standards for flavor, texture, and appearance. Nothing gets past this stage unless it's top tier. Once approved, the flakes head into fully automated packaging machines. Each portion is precisely measured, dropped into a bag, and sealed shut with heat on both ends. Then, those sealed bags pass through a sensor system that double-checks weight and size, flagging anything that's even slightly off before it moves on. Next comes labeling. Each bag gets a sticker that includes all the good stuff: product info, nutrition facts, and the all-important expiration date. From there, the finished cereal bags are stored in a climate-controlled area to keep them fresh and crisp until they're ready to ship. This final step is crucial. It ensures that every box of cereal that ends up on your breakfast table is as perfect as the last. And within the next 24 hours, over 1 million boxes will roll out of this factory, bound for store shelves everywhere, ready to fuel the mornings of families all across the country. And that's the incredible journey. From humble corn kernels to the golden, crunchy flakes you pour into your bowl each morning. But what about you? Do you eat cereal for breakfast, as a late-night snack, or maybe just straight out of the box during a Netflix binge? Are you more of a classic no-sugar cereal fan, or do you go for the ones loaded with honey, granola, or fruity flavors? Drop your answer in the comments. We'd love to know which cereal team you're on. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might find it just as tasty. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the foods you love. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.